So I'm interested, have you ever had a ghostly or supernatural experience?
Nope. When will I find a better answer for that? Because it's been asked before. Yeah.
Do you believe in that kind of stuff?
I do. Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. I do, and I like hearing other people's stories, and I really believe other people's stories, but I just haven't had my own.
How do you think you would react to a ghost?
I hope with a sort of benevolent curiosity, like not fear, but more like tell me what you need and let me help you pass.
You want to be a medium, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, I want to like be curious about it and not reactive.
Mm-hmm. What scares you the most?
What scares me the most? Cockroach, apostrophe S's, legs and moving patterns.
Any bugs?
Nope, just that body.
Oh, okay.
Where they can go, and just how they have like that great glass elevator dynamic where you're like, you could go any direction. I don't like it.
How do you feel about flying cockroaches?
No, I don't like it.
Don't even say it?
I don't like that.
Are you a fan of the haunted house genre?
Yes.
Type of stuff?
Oh, I thought you meant going into haunted houses.
Yes. Oh, that too.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
What's the best haunted house to go into?
I really enjoyed the Universal Studios Spookfest thing this year. I got spooked a number of times. There was a clown one, which is not normally my thing, but it was really great, and a lot of and then there was sort of like a Pan's Labyrinth type of large beings with like arms that swoop that I also liked.
So you like people popping out at you?
Yeah, I like people getting close enough to touch, but never brushing.
Did you look back at the Turn of the Screw when you were taking this part? Any sort of the previous iterations, or
not the? I mean, I'd seen The Innocents ages ago, and then the novella. I didn't want to rewatch the movie, but obviously I was constantly. I mean, our movie is an adaptation. It's not like a verse by verse faithful adaptation of the novella. But I wanted to make sure that the sort of essence and the tone and the spirit of why that's a special piece of writing kept coming back. So I tried to use that to ground some of the stuff. Does that sound like an artist?
Yeah. When you get a script for, like, say, the turning, what tends to be the first thing you do to sort of prepare for the character?
I don't know. I go through and try and feel like what I intuitively don't believe, like whatever blocks me at first, and then try and understand those parts, and then move through it. I don't know. In this movie, the aesthetics were really helpful to me, like Kate's progression and building that with our lovely hair and makeup and costume ladies was such a fun thing to be like, okay, and like, what does this phase of her life look like? Because it was like this Pavlovian thing where you'd get into that zone and immediately you'd be like, oh, okay, I know where I am here. So I loved that part of it.
Actually, what blocked you when you first read the script? What were the pieces at first?
I have no idea. It was so long ago. I don't even know if that's true. I'm just answering a question I've never heard before. So.
When did you film it?
2 years ago.
Do you find it hard to do these type of
things?
Yes. After
How's it going?
I can't even remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah, same. And then imagine someone has just seen the movie and has like an intense emotional insight into it, and you're like, okay.
Did the script change at all when you came aboard? Do you remember that? Or?
Yeah, it did. It was moving a lot, really. It was a thing that we were really trying to find the right version of this thing that felt still scary but faithful to the novella, because the novella is scary in a way that's not like super marketable, I think.
Sure.
Or like it's not I don't know, it's like it's creepy, but it's not gonna, you might not scream that much. And so how do you create a movie that still is a horror movie and still satisfies this sort of like communal expression of grief and fear, but that isn't bastardizing a thing that is so wonderful to begin with.
What was it like filming it in this sort of gigantic house?
It was cool. It was cool. You felt like Richie Rich or something. It was great to just like wander around this estate and think that all this is mine.
So you would move in.
Mm-hmm.